Hello and welcome to Ben's Addictions. Today's video is not going to be a long one. We're going to talk about if you should buy a CLK convertible versus a coupe. We're going to compare the owner experience of these two and the maintenance, of course. In this comparison, by no means I'm trying to say anything negative about the CLK convertible. I'm just trying to inform you about the upcoming cost or the issues of both of these cars, and I am not biased against any of these. Okay, so as you can see on the left hand we have A209, which is a CLK 500, and on the right hand side the silver one is the C209, which is a coupe CLK 320 2004. On the left hand it's a 2003 sport version. The comparison between the convertible and coupe is not possible without mentioning the pros and cons. And don't get me wrong, I love both of these cars, and I believe, of course, CLK convertible to the right owner can give even extra pleasure comparing to the CLK Coupe. But today we are going to talk about who should buy the CLK convertible and who should be the user of the coupe. So let's first of all compare these two in terms of style. From this angle, as you can see, it's pretty much visible what car has style. On the other side, the coupe is a very nice looking coupe with that pillarless design, which is very nice and muscular. And here is a rear view of the CLK coupe, and comparing to the convertible, well, aesthetic is something really subjective. Also, it is needless to mention that the convertible can give you the sense of hair in the wind, which is very nice feeling. Especially when it comes to summertime and springtime, you can enjoy the seasons with exhilarating moments. In terms of practicality, this is the space that you can get with the convertible. Of course, when the top is down, you can only have this much space, which is not very much, but I think it's enough for some users. Okay, the CLK convertible has the fabric top, which actually requires extra maintenance. First of all, the seam can split. The seam is coming with adhesive from the factory, and over the time and with the weather and all those conditions, first it gets dirty, and second it splits from the rear section. And I have had this problem too, and you might need to replace the fabric. First of all, the fabric is very expensive, costs you thousands of dollars, and second, the replacement itself is a bit more than a DIY for a typical owner of the CLK convertible, and it can also cost you a lot of money. On the other hand, we have the C209 coupe, and that has a sunroof, and I have replaced that sunroof already. That sunroof was mechanically problematic and I replaced it. I also have replaced my headliner, and as you can see, it looks very good now. And I am in the process of replacing the A-pillars covers. As you can see, they are off. Now I'm working on those as well. But in saying so, working on the headliner of the coupe is not a huge job. It's possible as a DIY, but it's still a time-consuming process in saying so. And now here we should talk about the main disadvantage of the A209 CLK convertible, which is these bad boys over here. I think we have 7 of these used in this car, and these over the time, I think after 15 to 20 years, they start to leak. And as you can see, these are sealed in a way that me and you probably with typical tools, we cannot restore them to original by only replacing few seals. So the problem over here is we need to spend thousands of dollars. For me in Australia, I think I have to spend something close to 2,000 Australian dollars for these seven hydraulic cylinders to get completely refurbished by Top Hydraulics. And these guys are probably the only ones who can do this job properly. And that's me sending all these to Top Hydraulic, asking them to refurbish, paying them the money, and I have to pay the shipment as well, which is not cheap at all. So that will cost me at least $2,000, plus I have to go ahead and replace all these one by one myself. So this can get a bit expensive for someone who doesn't want to do it as a DIY in terms of replacement. So it can cost you even $4,000 or $5,000 for only the hydraulic cylinders to get refurbished, because this design is not a very DIY friendly. As you know, I have done this hydraulic cylinders, all of them, about 11 of them on my SL500, which is the older R129, which is now almost 30 years old. Those are doable as a DIY job because you can simply pull a C-clip from here and replace the $80 kind of seals on those 11 hydraulic cylinders, and as a DIY you can replace all those, no issue at all. But on CLK, no, it's not possible. Also, for example, if you are going to purchase the E-Class convertible from 2009 to 2017, those E-Classes probably haven't started to leak because on average they are something like 10 years old. But this bad boy CLK A209, they are almost 20 years old, and they probably are already leaking, or they will leak in few years time. And I had the experience with this myself, and my type hydraulic cylinders are still leaky after even replacing some of them. So I have to remove them all and send them to Top Hydraulics for a complete refurbishment. That's the main problem I have now, because as a DIYer it's impossible for me to do all this job myself. So back to the first question, should you go ahead and buy a CLK convertible? Well, I don't want to say anything negative about CLK convertible. If you have the money to spend 4, 5, 6 grand on the top hydraulics and the fabrics and the maintenance, the CLK convertible will definitely give you a lot of pleasure. If you are after a trouble-free CLK experience and you're not ready to spend that much money, probably CLK Coupe is the right choice for you. If you have found a nice CLK convertible that the previous owner has taken care of the problem, the CLK convertible is a great choice for you again. And finally, if you think you can buy a CLK convertible in a very good shape with functioning top with only 3, 4, 5 grand in a good mechanical condition, I think you are probably very wrong, because this is impossible in Australia at least. So no one is going to probably sell a beautiful example of a CLK convertible, let's say CLK 500 or a 350, that everything is done on it already in terms of top maintenance and mechanical, cheap. Prepare yourself for a non-functioning top hydraulic or a top roof. I enjoy the ownership of both of these cars and I love them equally. And they are built for the purpose Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing as usual, and have a great day.